Welcome back once again, my wonderful Tome Readers, and I hope you all are having a good winter, or if you're in the other hemisphere of the globe, a decent summer. I know in my neck of the woods, God, today was just a horrible ice storm, as it was for a lot of the northern states in the US, from what I hear at least. Like, it wasn't snow, but it is cold enough rain that early on, when it's still just a bit of a trickle, it was just freezing instantly on windshields and the road. It was horrible. But thankfully, I made it home safe and sound to give you yet another Tavern Talk stream. I don't think this is going to be the last stream for Tavern Talk, but we feel really close to the end. So I think if it's not this time, it'll be next time. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and jump right into it. Play, we're on this save, In Pursuit of Entropy. Before we go ahead and start this day, the 21st of the astral moon, a brief summary of recent events, especially from last stream, and how they will likely come up again in just a little bit. So obviously spoilers for those of you who have not gotten this far in the game and have not been able to stay on top of the streams of my playthroughs. In a few more seconds for anyone who might need to step away and come back later because they wish to avoid spoilers. So, recently there was a massive flood in our little neck of the woods here. Just absolutely massive. And it's surprising because the town our little inn is stationed in is very much not near the sea. And it was flooded for at least 2 in-game days. During which one of our little adventurer friends, Melli the Fugakin, a very tiger-like cat design, like stripes, and she wishes to be the world's greatest detective. Already, sorry, she's gone missing. Even though she's already referring to herself as the best detective in this world, the fact that she has gone missing, likely in pursuit of the mystery of whatever the source of this flood is, who is doing this, and why. The only hint we've gotten is eyewitness account of one person who's a little, I don't want to say unhinged, I guess chaotic would be the thing to do. They're not an arsonist, but oh, how they enjoy loving a fire, burning down a building, that kind of person. Saw her in a portion of the swamp that is really close to interplanar portals. Unfortunately, we do not have enough evidence to make a formal quest yet. And the way this game works, we need 3 bits of information to start. Even if one of those pieces is so-and-so wants a particular quest done, we still need a trifecta. And with that rumor of her having been spotted near those interplanar portals about the time that the flood happened, it was not enough. And Fable, the first adventurer we meet in this game, refuses to take no for an answer. She demands a quest to go after Melli. And what's more, even when told that we could not make a formal quest yet, we, in the hope that it would dissuade her from trying, did not make her one of our special drinks, the ones that help bolster the adventurers for their particular quests. And at this moment, well, in reality, every moment since that decision where Fable left in pursuit of Melli, that we did not give her a drink, I have regretted it. I hope that we get to see them both soon, unharmed, likely injured to some small degree, but not fatally so. And yeah, that's probably the biggest information there. Obviously, our blue-skinned friend of many names, the rogue, has some of his own problems with parents he once thought dead, apparently alive, and just abandoned them, else he too would have gone after Melli. And he has said as such that the parent thing is something he needs to take care of first. And the other promising young adventurer who recently joined us, Archie, came back from their first ever quest having failed it. And what's worse, the quest was protect someone who they've known since they were a child, so their failure meant losing them as well. Things are not looking good here at the inn we run. But sometimes you must reach the lowest point before you can start climbing back up again. No? Is that not a lesson learned from, what is it? Beckett Foggy's Get Over It game? What have you? Of just a man who's, like, waist up, sticking out of a tub, and wielding a giant sledgehammer to move around. Sometimes, to get to the top, you must fall to the bottom again and again. But let us hope that there are no more downturns. That things only start to get better, aside from the asshole outside revving up their engine. Apologies. But let us do our best. Okay. Oh, well, she sat down real quick, only to get back up. There we go. Now, what sort of voice did I have for Jade again? I think I tried to sort of draw on the early Laura Croft Tome Reader. Just a little British. Or at least as good as I can do for a fake British accent. You know, your quests are getting weirder by the day. I mean, no one's forcing you to take that one. Unless you have one on basilisk swarms waiting in the back, I think I'm good with this one. No basilisks, I'm afraid. Eager to kill some parental figures? You know it. Speaking of family, you haven't brought your sister by in a while. How is she? I don't know. We no longer speak. Oh, I didn't know that. You two were unbeatable when it came to bar fights. Yeah, I love her, but she's become a little too much like our parents, so I need to love her from afar. Or I wouldn't be loving myself very much. I'm sorry to hear that, and I am. It's tough to have to put some distance between yourself and beloved family members, if only for the sake of your own happiness, not for anything they're doing. So I'm sorry to hear that, Jade. Cutting her off must have hurt a lot. Apologies for the yawn. Must still hurt a lot. I've come to terms with it. Came out stronger in the end. That's all I could do. Maybe. But the wounds stay, don't they? People wound you. That's what they do. They can also heal you. That's a false sense of security. Eventually it all falls away. Not everyone is doomed to be your enemy, including yourself. And I think you're doomed to say the weirdest things possible whenever you get the chance. It's a blessing, not a curse. If you want to see it that way. This rogue guy got any siblings? None that we know of. Their parents kind of fate, their deaths, abandoned him when he was very young. They haven't exactly been writing postcards. I guess no one would handle that very well. What do you think about the whole killing them measure? Adds up to me. It does? Yeah. Not like they ever face any real consequences for being shitty. Always falls on the kids, doesn't it? And you think that being murdered is an appropriate consequence? It's not about what I think. I'm just taking the job. Right. But I was thinking, think less. Or rather, think about what you're going to mix for me instead. So you're not even hesitating. I'm a bounty hunter innkeeper. Of monsters, I had assumed. Not all monsters look unlike us. I thought you didn't do charity. I don't. I expect a hefty payment by the end of this. That thief must have some jewels stowed away somewhere, right? I see. So, drinks. Drinks, of course. Murder. How would you like to approach it? With a lot of force. Don't know how strong they are, but I need to be stronger. Maybe some defense in the mix would be good too, if their attack patterns turn out to be more complex than you thought. Seems like you do listen to me sometimes. Your stories of fighting mirages and three-headed antelopes are far too compelling to forget. I'd hope so. You still got any of those frozen pine cones lying around? The ones you gave me for the mountain mimic. If those deadbeats picked up some primordial magic, I could use some elemental protection. Clever as always, Jade. Obviously. Plus, that frost armor is pretty cool. Luckily for you and your coolness factor. No. You and your health. I got a big shipment of them in last month. Cool. I'll take some of those then. They're not contending with another approach. No. Unless... I guess there's another way. Is there? Listen, some things are unfixable. I'd saw both my legs off before I'd ever talk to my folks again. This wound is fresh. It could be possible to delay the inevitable. I could convince them to leave, scare them off, banish them somewhere where they can't hurt them. That way he can find them later, if he ever changes his mind. Maybe this rift isn't completely irreparable after all. It sounds like you're asking for some charisma and some speed. Should hurry up before he does anything drastic himself. Yep, some dexterity might help too. Never know how they could react. Might have to dodge some blows. Might have to. Got any of that inspiration garbage lying around? I'm not so good with words when it comes to situations like this. I might have to inspire them to be a little less awful. I could offer you either thunder sage or honey flowers, whatever flavor you prefer. You choose. About it all. Charisma, dexterity, inspiration. It's the less violent route, but it's not what he asked for. So I won't complain about a strength and defense mix either, as long as you throw the frost armor in. I think my decision about this would be tinted by my own experiences. So please, a little help. Always, Jade. Thank you for asking. Make sure to leave Onyx some leftovers. She's thirsty. Alrighty. Well, we're definitely going the charisma route. What do we got for charisma? There's one. It's got a touch of dexterity. So does the sunny breeze. I'm thinking the Thousand Winds thematically feels better for inspiring a couple assholes to leave. Okay, we got honey flowers for inspiration. And that'll actually work, because that's a plus in 2 different categories that we need. We've only got the 1 dexterity. We're gonna put 1 charisma at the end. Both of our defense in the middle. And then top it off with 2 charisma for the first bits to hit her tongue. 1,000 Winds. Let us hope that all goes well, Ondu. Okay. Maybe this cause isn't as lost as we think it is. If they can't be reasoned with, I can always trick them and kill them that way. Yes. But I guess I'll try talking first. Let's hope this is the right choice. Don't you trust me? You wish. I just realized my captions aren't working. Weird. Caption source. Insert on stream. We don't need profanity filter. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. Weird. But it was certainly working early. Oh, there we go. Okay, alright. Caption is back. Okay. As you wish. Don't forget to fill me in on your success. If I have any charisma left in me, you'll be sure to hear all about it. Until then, don't tell him what I'm doing. I shall keep this secret between us. You do love those. Typical fae, I guess. Don't take too many names while I'm gone. I wouldn't dream of it. Hey, it's Voy and Nico. This is an interesting pair. Nah, man, you gotta be careful with that ethereal bamboo. I mean, it's super cool and all, but if you cut it the wrong way, it's gonna charge up and whoosh, gone yar, sucked into the ethereal weave. Oh, well, you know, like those fishies that'll kill you if you cook them the wrong way. Fish? Yes, they look like balls with spikes. Don't know about the name, though. Do you mean pufferfish? That! Whoa, wait. You're also here. Sure am. There you go. Oh, you're looking fire. Nice drip. Thank you, Nico. Nico! Can we stay on topic, please? Topic. Right. So, I heard any type of vibration can trigger a small rift. It's like disturbing a sleeping dragon. Wrong move, and the world's faltering and whatnot. So, you're saying if I use my bow the wrong way, I could open a rift and be lost in the ethereal weave? Bet. Would suck big time, but alas. Though, Can't be entirely sure. I mean, what's the fun in knowing everything for sure? Don't be basic. Embrace the chaos. As long as you don't play any wrong notes, you should be fine, boy. Nothing easier than that. Especially under pressure. Especially then, I'm sure. You have nothing to worry about, friend. Might even come in handy one day. The person who made your instrument must have at least, like, one thought about making it like that. They did. Many thoughts, actually. Oh, hey! The third chaotic person who regularly comes in. Oof. Good mythical morning, innkeeper. I know, practically it's early afternoon, but who cares? Good theopractical morning, X. Almost there. You forgot the mythical. Good mythical theopractical morning. Better. Okay, listen up. I found this leaflet on your notice board, and I saw you're finally sending someone out to investigate that abandoned wizard tower. I just decided that someone is me. I've been wanting to see what's up there for a while now. Talk about good timing. Did you say wizard tower? What's the tea? Well, there's an abandoned wizard tower near Niverduff, a small island called Morlia. Ah, the one with the worms. I think you can find worms in any ecosystem. So that's what they want you to think. Sure. Either way, no one has seen the Wizard of Morlia in quite some time. So they say. And I've been dying to know what he might be hiding in his tower. I bet lots of explosives. I'm more hoping for scrolls of ancient magic and semi-cursed objects. Oh, and of course books of forgotten knowledge. Rumor has it, he left behind quite the hoard of peculiar trinkets. Surely. After all, as states in this leaflet, traps, puzzles. Must be something very valuable hidden in there. Maybe even the key to immortality. Or they were bored. Admittedly, I don't design puzzles when I'm bored, though. I blow things up. I love when things go boom. Same. You know what? What? I think you should take me and Voyboy along. Listen, you say trinkets and I'm all in. I mean, the entropy we'd create if we traveled as a trio would be immaculate. We'd be able to tackle the wizard's puzzles and deathly traps with wits and violence and music. You have my lockpicks and my Haitian. Maybe the ethereal weave could even help. Ethereal bamboo, eh? But an ethereal weave escape would only work with Chabian silk. The ghost spiders of Chabian use their silk to spin the weave. Good thing that these strings are made of Chabian silk, then. Great. We can use your Hagium as our Plan C escape plan. Should the wizard be at home, after all, or foster any monsters and any traps, your Hagium will be our way out. By dipping into the ethereal weave? Don't worry, it's like dreaming or teleporting. You'll just have to find your way back out. We'll manage that. I'm a master teleporter. I'm sure our innkeeping friend here has the right drink for you. Perhaps something that'll give you some brain cells and quick reflexes, so I'm hasty and can easily evade traps. Good that I don't need help with either. But shouldn't we be able to fight back fiercely in case something is lurking in the tower? Lots of traps probably mean lots of fire. So fire resistance would be helpful too. Fighting sounds good. Ooh. Sorry, another yawn. I would love to kill something, but I hate making decisions. I think the innkeeper should decide what to make. Okay, so something strong to barge in and fight a way through, paired with fire resistance to survive the lethal traps. Or something for our brains that gives us focus infused with haste. I'll see what I can do. But don't hold me responsible for whatever ends up happening. We would never, ever. Alrighty. With this particular chaotic trio, I'm going to go with loud and proud. So we need... No, it needs to be 3 offense. So first, let's see. We've got Sailor's Courage and does have the 1 dex we would need. But that does not. So I guess we have to do Sailor's Courage. There we go. Okay, fire resistance. That's Frost Shield. Ah, there we go. So we need to use the peppers. Let's see, we still need dexterity at the end. Because it's always a heroic thing to get away at the last second. Actually, we'll top it off with the charisma. Here's the... Oh, wait. I forgot we already have some defense in there. There's the 2 offense. Charisma to start it off. Let's double check. 3 offense, 1 dexterity. 3 offense, 1 dexterity, and we got the fire. Yep, this is it. Take this sailor's courage. There you go. Some fireproof chaos. Oh, thanks. Chasms, yeah. Permission for arson granted. I didn't say that. Well, it was up for interpretation. Don't worry, innkeeper, we'll be fine. And Morlia too. Most likely. You know what we should do? What? We should take Jade along. She'd defo be interested in the treasures too. An additional blade wouldn't hurt. Any idea where we can find her, innkeep? I'm afraid she's already on a quest, so probably nowhere nearby. That's fine. We'll poach her. Good luck. Thank you. We shall return with a story worth telling. I can't wait. Bye, loser. God, may Voy keep them on the straight and narrow as much as Voy can. Yeah, I guess we didn't have anyone else in for the night shift. Here we are. Ooh. A well-deserved break. I assume this is going to be one of the smaller side, not quests, interludes, that's the right term, where you get some, like, guest characters coming in. 25th of the Astral Moon. It was a dark and rainy day. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting pair going back and forth between, okay. Una's easy to remember. I do my best to speak like I've got barely any teeth left. With a little bit of a piratey accent. Hello, innkeep. Look what I found. Looks like a rare specimen of Archie to me. I'm one of a kind. Oh, you two knew each other already. Of course you do. You know pretty much everyone in this city, huh? Of course I know him. He's quite the celebrity in town. Oh, I suppose I am. He's Xena's most famous author. He even survived an assault by hordes of the vicious undead. Author? I guess I really am an author, yes. Bummer. Here I thought I could surprise you. How did you two meet? I think he spotted me on the street. Must have thought I had a lot of stories to tell, so he asked me if he could write my biography. What a unique way to call someone old. But she does have a lot of stories to tell. Archie, how many manuscript topics do you want to collect before you actually finish something? Well, you see, it's always important to collect ideas. Life itself is the best source of inspiration for any artist. Look at him. He's sure you're right. I just couldn't refuse that look in his big, sparkly eyes. Writing down ideas is so much fun. Oh, absolute word there, Archie. Not only for the detective's magical story, but also holding on to Theo's memories through writing is really helping me with his death. I can make sure the world doesn't forget about him. I'm glad you're doing a bit better now. Una, how come you want your biography to be written now? I don't really have a reason. I'm old, and I've seen a lot of stuff. Would be sad if all that knowledge went to waste, right? It's not like you'll disappear any second now, is it? Of course not. I get it. A lot of terrible things have been happening lately. Oh, don't be silly. We'll be fine. It's always nice to see most of your friends return during times like these. Most of them? Stuff like this happens every few decades. It's completely normal. If you say so. Are you going to pay Archie accordingly, though? That's what I'm here for. I'm gonna pay him in drinks. And I also could use a little refreshing drink myself. I gotcha. Anything specific you'd like today, Archie? Just the same as always. Drink to stay focused on my writing, to defend my brain against all those distracting thoughts. Coming right up. Alright, just need a triple defense. We'll give him the strong stuff. Now we've got 2 things for inspiration. Not that one. It's not. Wait, I thought we had 2 for inspiration. There's haste. There's one, but that's not going to work. Oh, it's because they're right next to each other. I couldn't really tell. Got it. Dang, neither of these will work. Oh well. I guess we'll look for a simpler one. There we go. First, snow. There we go. Alright. That last bit of dexterity at the end. The triple defense. Oh, come on. And a first snow. Down the hatch. I messed it up. Down the hatch, Archie. Here you go. A drink to boost your concentration. Thank you very much, dear innkeeper. Oh, this is delicious. I can feel an irresistible itch in my fingertips already. I'm always happy to oblige. So, Una, what's it for you today? Maybe someone will give me enough strength and energy to tell this whippersnapper every little detail of my life. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, give me a quick second. I'll be back with your drink. Alright, she wants a triple offense. We'll give her the sailor's courage for the merfolk. Actually, let's see. strength and energy tell... Okay. Is there a haste? That would go with this. Technically, yes. Alright, we've got the one for each of those. Don't need any mines, so that don't matter. Little defense at the end to keep her upright. And the offense. Nice and deep like the ocean. Have a sailor's courage and a bit of haste to help you speed through your entire long life. Some liquid stamina for the golden girl. Let's see if our skills are to be trusted in keep. Oh, Archie, I hope you're ready for at least 600 pages. That's a lot. But you already agreed, so you don't have a choice. And now, my dear Archibald, we'll begin with the writing. Thank you for the hospitality in keep. I'll see you later. Goodbye, innkeep. I'll remember to keep a copy of the book for you. Signed, please. Of course. Very well. Goodbye, you two. With so many of our patrons gone away. Dog mommy. I wish I could pet them. Oh shit, wait. I didn't even read that. Finally, my service beast and I have returned. Welcome back, Minthy. Good to see you, innkeeper. And surprisingly, your tavern's dry interior. I thought you might be appreciating the dampness of almost everything nowadays. Maybe well underwater, but wheels and mud do not mix. On land, I appreciate structurally sound and smooth wood, flooring much more than its soggy alternatives. That bad? You would do. Just step a few minutes past your tavern. Nope, I did not know I clicked to that to do... Oh, okay, never mind. Then you might get an idea of the things jammed in my spokes and swished between Casket and Kane's toes. I'll pass. Then besides, stories for my patrons are much more enjoyable. Speaking of, how did the pearl hunt go? Honestly, it wasn't all too eventful. But before I go on, I could do with one of your drinks, innkeeper. Something to keep my mind clear of any irrelevant distractions for the journey back. Let me see what I can do. Triple mind. Yeah, why not the Silent Owl? And speaking of the journey back, that won't work. What's the other haste? That is actually doable. Silent Owl with a bit of saber tooth. Well, tooth. We'll end it with the mind with which she seeks a good journey back. A bit more offense at the beginning for some cutting words, and the Silent Owl is ready to fly. May this inspire boundless creativity. Just what I needed. If only I had a boundless supply of this drink while writing at my desk. Unfortunately, my establishment doesn't do deliveries. What a shame. But before you go on, I actually have something else for you. Here I thought I'd have to needle you for it again. What a pleasant surprise. My favorite kind. Here, a completely proofread manuscript. I hope. I'd certainly hope it's completed. Since my retrieval and your proofreading have been such a long time in the making, yes? Right. Long in the making. You should probably wash that red ink off your hands before it stains your mugs. Oh, right. I was editing my recipes all night. Crazy story, actually. For another time, that is. I see. I will say, it's good to have these papers back in my hands. May I inquire as to why you asked for them back now? I've decided to finally publish the book. What I've written about, it's very dear to my heart. And I'm happy to finally get to share my writing with the world. Minthy, the author, has a nice ring to it. It'll be Mackenzie Catron Pichon, actually. A very nice pen name. It was time I finally chose one, and something universal at that. Procrastination is a curse all of its own. Sure is. So, about the pearl, or pearls? Protection pearls. Like I said, it wasn't too eventful. I had tea with the banshee of the Lonesome Lagoon, and she traded me the pearls for objects of her desire. Mostly, I promised her a signed copy of the book. Good for her. You know, I've been meaning to ask, if I may, what do you need the pearls for exactly? I know you're often looking for them, but I was never quite sure why. Well, I'm sure you remember the curse I was bestowed with. Yes, the cursed parasitic rings that amplify your magic to a painful degree. Exactly those. They cause quite a lot of issues for me and my body. Sometimes it feels like the magic is eating away at me, slowly feasting on my organs and nerves. It's tearing me apart from the inside out as it gradually takes my health and life. The protection pearls help me keep the mana in check. They bring it down to manageable levels. It helps the pain a lot. So, you're saying you turn the pearls into a drink? Wonderful to see that's still your first solution to everything. Yes, on occasion. Mostly, I grind them into ink for my tattoos. They're very versatile little duties. I'm happy you could find some then. Now that I think about it, care to share? I'm sure they'd be great for my drink. Not so fast. For most people, they just amplify mana to ridiculous and dangerous degrees. And I don't want to be held responsible for the chaos your patrons could cause. However, maybe I can offer you something less extreme, but still energizing. Here. Is this your infamous coffee recipe? After all these years, you finally trust me with it? It's time. I think you can finally make it without poisoning someone. I'll do my best. Thank you, Minthy. Perhaps it will also help you keep your promises in time. Anyhow, I think we're due to take our leave. Need to make some ink. Something like that. Plus, I promised Casket and Kane we'd check if any primordial tennis balls got washed up by the flood. Ooh. We're going to point her towards Baya, because I would love to hear more stories from Baya, and also she needs more friends. Baya might be able to make you some moss balls. What a perfect excuse to catch up with her. Is she around? More frequently, recently. It's nice. A miracle she still comes around after you exercise her favorite bog body. We were young and inexperienced. It happens. That it does. It was lovely to see you again, innkeeper. Likewise. Best of luck on your journey, and don't forget to send me a copy of that book. If you promise not to forget about its existence this time, I'll do my best. I know you will, friend. I know you will. God, Mindy is hot, but Carolyn is the hottest. She's buff too. Sadly, Kane and Casket, that was the other one's name, are not enough reason. Okay. Okay, we're at some rather quick days. We are now the 27th of the Astral Moon. I believe the first day we did this stream was the 21st, so almost a week. Oh, hey! Okay, we've got the end of this particular quest. Jade, welcome back. Was your quest successful? When have I ever failed? Well, you do look surprisingly unbloodied. Also, hello, Kumo. Kumo? Who's Kumo? That guy. New name, I'm guessing? No, no names here. Never heard a name. Don't even know what names are. Am I just supposed to go along with that? You're supposed to make me a drink. Then we can talk. Fair enough. What can I get you? Hey, Baringo! Welcome, welcome! Thank you for sending your raid my way and trusting me with your viewers. Those of you who do not know me, yes, Valencia Library Raid Glitch Reset Edition. Ooh. I assume... shit, what were you doing? Library of Runia? Oh, wait, if I have my shadow thing, I believe it says. Shadowed. There we go. Please tell me it's set up right. Oh, one sec. I think CloudBot, for some reason, is not working. But I have a bookmark for that. Fixing. Gonna try and fix it. Oh, yeah. Yep, it got turned off. Alright, let's try this again. There we go. Yeah, you were playing Library of Runia. So yeah, by the raid message, I'm assuming you did some kind of glitch reset. What does this glitch reset look like? Is it their particular quote-unquote glitch to maybe like a New Game Plus type mode, or at least take you back in time a little bit? Yeah, well, you type up that message, or whatever glitch reset means in this instance. Welcome. For those of you who do not know me, I am Lucy the Ferris of the Morningstar Archives. And I usually play a lot of story, visual novel type games, especially ones with choice, as well as some roguelite and dungeon delvers. And yeah, today we're just continuing in Tavern Talk, which anyone who needs to raid and run for spoilers, I am very far into this game. In fact, I'll go ahead and do a save because it'll also show... Oh, I'm in part 17 currently. So a lot of spoiler potential for those who are interested in this game, where we play the innkeeper who serves drinks to adventurers that give them little perks to their stats or even temporary abilities. Let's see, Baringo saying, Pluto continued to be impossible thanks to glitches, so you reset the save. Fair. Well, better luck next time you face them. And yeah, go ahead, head off, enjoy your dinner. I will be streaming for about another hour, which, with your track record, I think is usually more than enough time for you to enjoy your meal. So I will see you later. Yeah, I'll give a couple more seconds before continuing, in case anyone is like, gonna head out because I don't want to be spoiled, but I do suggest this game. It's a very fun, story-based game, and the decisions are very minute. Usually when you send someone out on a quest, you get an option of one of two types of stat-boosting drinks, and you can choose which one to give them. And it's therefore direct the method they take to complete their quest. And I'm kind of concurrently running two save files without running either to the end, so I'm not super spoiled of what happens. But yeah, there can be very different endings for the particular quests depending on which of the two drinks you offer. And it can be very fun. But yeah, I'm going to assume that's enough time for anyone who wants to vamoose. So let's go ahead and continue with my subpar voice acting skills. After a little bit of a sip. There we go. I've still got some plans after this, but Onyx is pretty tired. So give me something that'll get her to keep up with my speed if I let her have a sip. Anything for little Onyx. Alright, so speed tends to be this dex stat. I think dex is another one I don't really have a lot of variety in the options. Cursed Coffee, we'll try to use it soon. I think it's just Swift Strike, huh? Right? Yeah, everything else is 2. So Swift Strike it is. Can either of the haste things work for it? Technically no, because that gives one attack as well. That one gives 1 charisma, so no bonuses. That'll benefit them. But hey, it's one of the early game drinks, so defense at the end to help them prevent the hangover. We'll get 2 with a little bit of dexterity towards the end to make sure it lasts them a while. Sandwich between it and the last bit of dexterity is a little bit of mind. So Swift Strike gets swiftly delivered. I'm going to mute for a second to blow my nose. There we go, sinus is a little bit more clear, less stuffy. A drink for Onyx and you. But mostly Onyx. Not too bad. Concerning to see you know me so well. Being a regular does have its perks. So, names? Let's start with the story first. You love those, right? You know it. I'll spare you the details of my journey to Borgham. Though I did miss the chance to make some extra money along the way, everyone thought I was the right woman for their jobs. They helped me with the quest, too. Squeezed a good description of the renegade parents out of some Red Dune merchant who was deep in dispute with a blue-crowned elephant. I'd love to hear that story, actually. Not my problem. Asking a couple pointed questions got me to the inn the deadbeats were staying at. Problem people is, can't exactly kill them in broad daylight. With monsters, you'd be thanked for doing so, but with people, you've got to be patient. So I did what anyone would have done in my situation. I posed as a tour guide. And they believed you? Sure did. And it goes right, your drinks are great for pulling scams. Happy to hear it. I offered them a tour of the nearby Wadden Sea, and led them to an area I knew was shunned by actual tour guides because of the unpredictable tides. Gave them a spiel about how a battle of the Order of Starlight took place there, yada yada yada. Pretty soon, their eyes were glued to some starfish playing in the mud. It was the perfect opportunity to get it over with quickly. Obviously, I wasn't going to kill them just then. They needed a chance to run, but I had to scare them first. Raised my spear right up above my head and was about to go for a warning strike, but I heard this zinging sound. I deflected the knife that was flung my way at the last second. It shattered against the ground. All 3 of us turned and saw this cloaked echo reaching for another knife. He had his hood pulled up, knives and daggers strapped all over his body. Even the air seemed to get darker around him. Looked like a real shadow bane. I trained under them. Impressive. Those deadbeats thought I was protecting them from him. Should have seen the look on their faces when I said I was there to kill them. I turned back, wanting to refocus on my warning strike, when I was interrupted by a simple stop. It was said in this deep, raspy, incredibly fake voice that sounded like some sort of proper degenerate. Likely, the two bums thought we were fighting about who'd get to kill them. Their approach to such a situation was to immediately try and bribe us. I told them to shut it. They asked me what I wanted then, if it wasn't money or words. So I turned to our little Shadowbane and asked what he wanted. But he just stood there, quietly, menacingly. Can't blame him. They're a little scarier than your own parents. So you helped him with the decision? Not exactly. I walked over to him and handed him my spear. She said, "This is your choice. Make it." It felt like she was passing some of her courage onto me. He stepped forward, my spear in his hand, and took off his hood. He was... I'll spare you the details. They recognized him, of course. Fuck! Had the audacity to act surprised. Surprised is one way to put it. When they talked, they sounded so... like they thought I had died. Could have. They left you. I wanted to say something. Anything. Yell. Tell them to get lost. Scream at them for what they'd done to me, but... all that came out was... why did you leave? Their silence went on for so long. Would have been longer if those tides hadn't come rushing in. You did kind of walk into that one. Kind of. Luckily, I was quick. Get all of us up on some muddy rock that the waves couldn't reach. How long were you up there for? A couple of hours. Left us a lot of time to talk. Did you? Yes. A lot. For example, did you know the primordial flood was caused by the pyre erupting? The pyre? I mean, the biggest volcano in all of Asteria, nestled right in Leviathan's domain? Yeah. Apparently it erupted and then collapsed, covered all of the primordial sea in ash, and set off a tsunami. It should not be doing that. No. Do you think powerful magic was afoot? Probably not. Why, what use is giant tsunami to anyone? Maybe they wanted to be wet? Probably not. Are tsunamis and their causes all you and your parents talked about? No. Most we talked about the leaving thing. They said not a day went by where they didn't regret what they'd done. Not quite a super eruption, Baringo. It was an interplanar event, but it was mostly because the tsunami went through an interplanar portal. I think it was just a normal volcano / earthquake to cause the frickin' days. Yeah, it was at least 2 in-game days of just flood water up to here. Ridiculous. But yeah, this guy who changes his name like every other time we meet him, discovered his parents were not dead, as he thought, and we steered a quest in the direction that he actually talks to them. So yeah, it's we got him to get more in touch with his feelings and less in touch with his various daggers, so to speak. I asked why they didn't come back then. They didn't have an answer for that. Mom said she was proud of my knife-throwing skills, though. I never thought they'd apologize. They owned up to all of it, as awful as it all was. I hadn't planned for that. They wanted to make up for everything, be a part of my life. They also said it was up to me and what I wanted. What do you want? A family. Is that stupid? No. No, it's not. So you forgave them? No, not yet. I have to see if they actually mean what they said first. I can't trust them right now. We don't really know each other anymore. Who knows if we'll get along? But they did say they want to get to know me, and I think I might like that too. They're just so different. It feels like I'm angry at people that don't exist anymore. You're still allowed to be angry. Even if they changed, they did hurt you. Neither forgiveness nor forgetting is required. It just feels unfair. Like I'm harboring resentment for ghosts. But I'll try to be honest with them. I owe that to myself. Plus, Jade threatened to decapitate them if they ever hurt me again. They'd stand no chance. None. Could I have a drink now, too? Exactly. Go, Jade. Tell the shitty parents shit to put them in their place. Oh, what great timing, Streamlabs. Let's all take a sip. Starting with Kumo. Right. Oh, right, yeah. I forgot. Way back when we told him he needs a secret. So he needs to give us a secret every time he gets a drink. No. A name? Oh, are we finding out the real name? I assume Jade didn't know you as Kumo because your parents didn't call you that. Correct. What did they call you, then? I'm not... I'll trade you my name. Just give the guy a drink. Your first name? Those are quite precious to Maida, right? Very. See it as a secret to trade for. Time listening. Ulyssia. Both these are pretty good, but which direction do I want to lean? The less flirty one. I'd keep that name to myself too. Oh, wait, no, I get it now. That's kind of an insult. No. A beautiful name. I don't respond to flattery. But thank you. It's definitely better than mine. Yours fit you. It does not. If you say so. So, not, Ulyssia, what would you like in exchange? Maybe something that'll stop me from choking on my words, in case I have to do more of this emotional thing. I've definitely got something for that. We're going back to basics. Spoken heart, here we come. Defense at the end. One little bit of the charisma for getting the cutting, offensive words, and the rest of the charisma to start. Spoken heart for our soft-spoken friend. Here you are. Some fluid, emotional vulnerability. Tastes a lot better than it sounds. Feels a lot better too. Yes, indeed. On to our beloved. Maybe. I still need to call you something else, though. If Kumo is out. It is. What have you got for me then? I'm running out of names. Jade, can I... Nope. My name. Fine. How about... Nils? You know what? Sure, I'll go with that. I'm proud of you, Nils. For everything you've gone for, and for choosing what's right for you. Thank you. Do you need a hug? May have already gotten one from Jade. Speaking of me, I've got to go. Want to check in with Grace and her goons. See you around, Airboy. See you around, Ulyssia. What about you? Care to linger a little longer? I need some time to think all of this over. Maybe even feel it, too. Is Fable back yet? No. I thought maybe you ran into them on the way back. I didn't. So, Melli isn't back yet either? No, I'm afraid not. Cool. Great. I guess I'll talk to Carolyn? Your parents? Maybe. Do you think they still love me? I don't know. I hope they do. I hope they'll love you well, but I don't know. I do know that other people love you, and that if your parents fail to live up to what you deserve, you won't be loved any less. I'd like to believe that. Sometimes I just think if even my own parents could leave me, anyone can. Don't measure your worth by the actions of the people that hurt you. Nothing good can come of that. I'm very thankful to have met you, Inkeep. Anyway, I'm also part of the night, or whatever, so I must go. Farewell. See you soon, Nils. Oof. I mean, things are looking up, at least. Yes, Vine. Very classic trans vibe name. I think it's the best way to put it. Like one of the joking advices I've heard of. It's like, you don't know what name to choose for yourself? Just choose a plant. It's like, so many. It's like, how rad is the name Hemlock? Or Rosemary? It's like, come on, plants are great inspiration for names. And also, our girl is back! Melli has returned, and as we can see, safe and sound. Innkeeper, surprise! Nice to see that you're back. Trans boy in a world where everyone's named after plants. Well, I guess it's not quite as cool then. Like, nothing wrong. It's like, Vine is a good name, but in a world where everyone's named after plants, it's not quite as fun, you know? Yeah, nice to see that you're back. If I could pet you, I would. Is Fable with you? No. Should they be? They were looking for you. I aren't a very good detective then. I'm happy to see you're well, Melli. Everyone was very worried about you. Why? I'm great at taking care of myself. You are, but where have you been all this time? Investigating things, obviously. Like the flood. My investigation led me to Morlia. Or more like, they did. Nico, Voy, and Hex, I mean. I followed them to Morlia. They were talking about mysteries and puzzles, and I'm trying to solve mysteries, so I couldn't let the opportunity pass me by. Okay, so Seaweed, that's a good name. That's a good trans name. Blackthorn might come across as a bit edgy, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like a Venn diagram where one circle is goth names, and the other circle is trans names. So it's like, yeah, there are names in the middle that fit for both, so you can't tell which group they're with. He is goth, yep. Fair enough. Goth and trans, another peanut butter and chocolate type mixture. Goes oh so well together, unless you're allergic to one of the other. The metaphor isn't perfect, but it works. Yeah. It's like, I couldn't let the opportunity pass me by. You're lucky. People usually pay a lot of money to spend time with me. Why? Oh boy, Voy took that personally. Because I'm, like, famous? But I didn't go there because of you. I was following clues. Okay. I didn't follow them all the way into the tower. After my last encounter with a wizard, I had enough. Where's Hex, anyway? You know, doing wizard things. Like arson? That would have been fun. But instead he chose to study. He immediately wanted to check out the spells we found. Though he seemed pretty disheartened. How come? Not sure. I guess he didn't find what he was looking for. Maybe because the world's greatest treasure was already traveling with him. But what would that be? Me? Never mind. You told us to keep an eye out for any time, magic, or razzle-dazzle. But we found nothing. At least you managed to get inside and return safely. Yes, Voy is a precious cinnamon roll, who some people don't quite read between the lines enough to get what he infers at times. Yeah, the way there was easy peasy. We got there thanks to Nico pulling off a shape-shifting trick and pretending to be a merchant. Stole some guy's coat and face, used his rep to secure us a boat ride to Morlia. Said I wanted to meet with a real estate agent from the Majocracy to buy the island. Told them to pick us up in a week or so. By then we'd be far gone. What happened once you reached the island? A burning tower happened. Wait, what? It was an accident. It was fun. It was like fireworks. You must have stored some mechanisms in the attic. Smart of you to give Hex some fire resistance, else that son of a gun would have come up in flames. Let's start at the beginning. Fireballs taste better with dramatic setup. You're right. I should have eaten the fireball. That's not inspiring as use Voyo. Thanks. Before you continue, I'm kind of thirsty. Could I have a drink? Something that tastes like smartness and wisdom. Gotcha. Triple brain. I will do a peak sunrise. Because it is a bright new day now that we've got Melli back. Yes, that one works. Mind at the bottom. Split up the decks. Also give Ondu a little bit. And there we go, a peak's sunrise. Let's see, Brain was saying the seahorse, quotes, was in a tank with a bunch of seaweed / kelp and little fish. It was eating the seaweed. But the kelp itself is carnivorous, oof. Which is what the fish are for. They are plant food. You know, that is fair, but still completely unexpected. You would typically expect it to be the other way around, in fact. It's like, here's this fish tank with a bunch of seaweed in it. Oh, the seaweed is to feed the fish. What? No! What side of insane nonsense is that? The fish are to feed the seaweed. It's like, Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, I get it's a fancy setting, but I just mean it's like against expectations in a way that is both funny and deathly serious. Yeah, this is great. You're really good at picking up clues. Okay, so picture this. We got to Morlia, an island so small it's basically the towers' wild backyard. As I walk between the crystalline roses, I expect to see secret passageways hiding behind every corner. Wait, but if you see them, then they're not all that secret, are they? But also, yeah, they'd be hiding. I guess that's a verb to use because they're secret. It's an interesting way to phrase the sentence. I almost brought you back a rose. Why didn't you, boy? I thought you wouldn't like it. I would have. Oh. Okay, that's... moving on. The tower itself reached so high I thought it might be reaching out to kiss the moon itself. It was really tilted at about a 5-degree angle. I measured it with my paws. The bricks were still wet. I'm sure the tsunami shook its foundation. Would think the waves would have done us a favor and knocked down the door, but nope. That locked door was the first challenge. Anika's lockpicks broke. Seemed like a skill issue. Broke. Skill issue. Bro. The door ate my picklocks. Lockpicks, I mean. Ah, door mimic. Classic first step to securing your establishment. You talk like you've seen one before. Have you ever tried to open my door when the inn's closed? No. If you do, don't use any lockpicks and take care of your fingertips. So, how did you get inside? Brute force. Together we were able to pull the door up enough to break it off its hinges. Together, You didn't really do much of anything, man. Just told us, you can do it, guys, while hiding behind a bush. It worked, didn't it? Anyways, they crashed through and landed on their faces. Axe flew past our heads. Cursed traps. I walked after them and immediately slipped on the wet floor. But no show was ever lost due to a faux pas. It merely makes you more sympathetic to the audience. Except for the lock. I believe I lost its sympathy completely. Should have played this song instead. Maybe next time, voyo. After Hex figured out how to time getting past that swinging axe, we explored the tower. It was so much taller and bigger on the inside. Like a pocket dimension. Friggin' cool! Except tower can't really fit in your pockets. Bet. Hex walked ahead. Guy was really distracted. He didn't even listen to my poem about the symbiotic relationship between an axe and a door. For a long time we didn't encounter anything. Just a long hallway. No doors, only a bunch of strange paintings. Of course, most hallways can't go on forever. So eventually we reached a staircase. After what felt like 5.5 minutes. Eternity. Meanwhile, I was outside investigating the flora and fauna. Everything was very peculiar, like it was all from another world. Colors were different, very blue and almost spectral. Then there were a lot of spider webs, or yarn, I'm not sure which. Suddenly, the ground shook and almost knocked me on my feet. Who could have guessed there were pressure plates on those stairs? I stood up on my tiptoes to cut off a golden cord that would have made for a great belt. I stepped on a pressure plate and triggered an explosion, and clunk! The whole staircase began crumbling down to a pit of nothingness. Bit by bit, starting from the bottom. I rushed upwards to safety, away from the weird wizard abyss. But Hex stumbled backwards as the ground gave way beneath him. I grabbed his hand just before he fell, but I'm not as strong as I look. My muscles, along with the courage of my heart, were failing us. Suddenly I felt a pull on my collar and someone dragged us up the stairs away from our certain doom. You know, I was thinking about what else might have been waiting up there. And going at it alone, I could have gotten lost. Thank you for saving us, Nico. No problem, boy. Don't get used to it. Didn't expect a trap like that. After all, a great wizard would want to protect their treasure. I guess we were a little distracted by all the gold hanging from the walls. The staircase ended in a wondrous tower that spiraled endlessly higher around the tower's inside walls. We lost text at the bottom, in the first row of books. Excuse me. A lot of them were drenched. Didn't seem like the tower was waterproof. There was still primordial water dripping from somewhere above. We couldn't make out the ceiling. Tried to reach, though. Second story of the spiral staircase library had 3 paths leading the way. Each path ended in a door, and all 3 doors were closed and marked with runes or paintings or rusty old locks. I called for Hex and like 10 minutes went by without a response. So we started looking around. There were just books and spell scrolls. Don't forget about the scroll in the glass cabinet. That one looked fun. I knew Hex was looking for spells, so I called him again. As soon as I mentioned an oddly floating scroll, he came sprinting upwards, staring at the glass case. He already had another scroll tucked into his coat. Honestly, I was expecting to be carrying out the library at that point. But I guess that would have been too heavy even for him. Of course, the stupid glass case was also a puzzle. Had no lock, no lid, no nothing. Just glass and a gold frame. How's that old poem go? I have no lock, no key, a hinge nor lid, yet within gold treasure is hid. And the answer is, of course, an egg. The scroll itself was glowing a promising blue. I suggested breaking the glass. Hex gave me his finest death glare. So he investigated the puzzle himself. While they were doing boring side quests, I made sure to stuff my pockets. Found a jeweled silver paperweight shaped like a bird that'd make for a great blunt weapon. Hex was too scared we'd destroy the scroll by triggering another contraption, so he suggested we look around in the adjacent rooms. The riddle doors. Riddle doors that Hex quickly figured out. Sure, a few books got burned, but it was nothing compared to what could have happened. I still don't get what he was talking about. Me neither, to be honest, but we aren't the brains of the operation, so speak for yourself, pretty boy. I think the puzzle had to do with some of the books in the library. Pulling on them in the right order or something to unlock the compartments. That held the passwords to get into the rooms. We had to do that for each door. It was so lame. It was kind of exciting, seeing Hex hop up and down the stairs looking for the right books. First password was password. The second password was passwords past the password. And the third one was passwords past the password's password. You wish. But no. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. That's amazing. I have the same combination on my luggage. Shout out to Spaceballs for that reference. That's what Sir Lost Wizard made us skim the whole library for. One of the rooms was an alchemy lab. Another, a study full of crazy inventions and books. And the third one was a gym. A gym? Yep. As soon as we had opened all the doors, the whole tower began to shake and rumble again. I believe now it's your turn to tell the story, Melli. Of course. Snooping through the garden, I found a weirdly shaped stone. It was glistening in the sunlight and caught my attention. I picked up to investigate it further and sort of didn't see the rope attached to it. As if I'd pulled out some hidden support beam, the whole tower began to rumble. Carefully, I put the shining stone back, but nothing changed. The tower kept rumbling like it was awakening from a deep slumber. You made us think we screwed up the riddle. Technically, we can't prove a correlation. You could have very well screwed up. Doesn't matter who screwed up. Mishaps make for better stories. I think. The whole tower started turning on its own axis, and the bricks were grinding against each other. Finally, something thrilling. It was as though all the traps were activated at the same time. Like a scalded cat, Hex rushed into the wizard's study to grab as many papers as he could. The bookshelves in the library leaned forward and unhinged in the walls, they crashed downwards into the abyss, revealing a dark void behind them. Nightmarish creatures started crawling out of the void. Looked like bats made out of stone. They all reminded me of my auntie's place. I tried to fight them off, but they were too many, even for me. The tower turned to a living machine, trying its hardest to get rid of us. I had to retreat into the alchemy lab. Hex joined us last minute, pockets full of papers, the nerd. He cast a fireball right at the monsters in front of us. Obviously, the library caught fire. The ensuing shockwave sent us tumbling backwards. Knocked over a vial of shimmering red liquid I did, that I had set aside to taste test. With no windows in the room, we were trapped inside while the fire closed in on us. I felt the heat licking my skin, cinching my hair, and then the red shimmering liquid that I knocked over caught fire as well. It started building up pressure in the room like an overloaded valve. It was only a matter of time until we'd explode into pieces. Hex screamed something to me about playing a note, the clearest one I'd ever played. I was confused. Thought he'd already succumbed to the fumes, but then Inigo reminded me. Ethereal bamboo! So I took my hagium and put my fingers to the strings. With the physical pressure of an explosion, combined with the mental pressure of having to do it right, he was darn nervous. Yep. Hex tried to keep the fire away from us, but it didn't react to any of his spells. It was straight up consuming them. So I took a page out of Voyboy's book and started yelling encouraging words at him. You weren't too bad at it. Ish. It still took me 3 tries to hit the right note and rip open a portal to the ethereal weave. It was insane. Suddenly time stood still. Everything was frozen over by an odd spectral blue shimmer. Like the one in the plants. Just as we heard the sizzle of an impending explosion, we were pulled into the rift I had just created. Whoosh! And we were swirling in a sea of blues and whites. Time was going by very slowly. Or not at all. Sorry, one sec. Gotta clear my throat a bit. Ooh. That last line by Anika. Ooh. Did a number on my throat.
A, B, C.
1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. No more tickle my throat, making me want to gag on nothing but words. We jumped off the tower. No walls could stop us anymore. Nor so we thought until one collapsed on top of us. Everything turned dark. We woke on the north side of the island. Smoke was rising into the sky. And the tower was in shambles. Oh, it sure was. After I put the stone back, it all happened so fast. The tower coiled around itself and started descending into the sky. When suddenly, 3 explosions rattled the building. Boom! The tower was obliterated to pieces, blue and white lights flying into the air. Somewhere in the distance, 3 silhouettes fell from the sky. I snuck up to them and saw Aniko, Hex, and Voy lying in the sand. It was great to have a friendly face be the first thing we saw. Should have been our clue to relax. But my man Hex was committed to finding anything he could in the ashes. Didn't even say hello to me. Then guess what he found? That crazy riddly glass case. Not one scratch on it. The scroll was still floating in there in perfect serenity. Hex took it. He said he'd figure out how to open it once we were back on the mainland. Couldn't really rescue much else of value. Except this particular little trinket. Thought it'd fit your tavern. Up there. I honestly have absolutely no clue what it is. Looks like an orrery to me. What kind of berry? An orrery. They show different realms and how they're intertwined with each other. That's what it is. Preem! Some gear seem to be missing, though. Also, I have no clue which realms it's supposed to represent. Well, it's yours now. Cope. Thanks? Other than that, the spell scroll in Hex's pocket made out alive too. Lucky nerd. He was so disappointed. Said he needed to take a breather. I continued investigating traces in the sand. A new set of footsteps had appeared. I thought perhaps the wizard had returned, but then I heard hushed voices. Someone was talking to Hex. Huh? Interesting. Did you travel as a group before after all? I mean, 5? Nah. When I peeked around a tree, I just saw Hex sitting by the shore, gazing far into the horizon. All by himself. Maybe it was just my imagination, after all. When Hex finally graced us with his presence again, I was roasting marshmallows over the fire. They weren't the only thing that was on fire. Bud, you're making less sense than me. Marshmallows were delicious. But all the treasure was gone. Except for what we had in our pockets. Though, figuring out that my Havium could do that was the biggest treasure of the day. Yeah, that was so cool. That does sound very cool, boy. Out of curiosity, how did you manage to get back? Jade saved us. We tried to recruit her, but the party pooper didn't have time. But she decided to follow up after her other quest was done. Bummer there wasn't any loot share, but hey, at least we got a ride back. I'm sorry to hear that you didn't get what you wanted. I mean, Nico and I had fun. I just think Hex was disappointed. He'll be okay. He's smart. He'll figure out whatever spell he needed from the wizard himself. I'm sure he will. Though, do you think the mediocrity will be upset we destroyed that very valuable treasure house? Dunno. Don't care. What a story. Can't wait to share it with Archie. I'll be on my way now. Gotta check up on Hex and make sure he didn't accidentally take a book mimic home. You coming with, Nico? Sure thing. So long, Innkeep. Goodbye, Innkeeper. Don't miss me too much. I'll try not to. Da-da-da-da-da. Now, it's just you and me, Innkeeper. Indeed. I'm glad you're back. You make it sound like I was lost or kidnapped. I was just investigating without telling anyone. I don't need to tell anyone where I'm going. People care about you, Melli. They get worried if they don't know where you are. Uh-oh. I'm not used to that. But I care about people too. Like you. That's good to hear. Yes, exactly. Melli, my beloved. I was hoping for a little more. Oh, I guess it's just a time skip. Good. The pair! We've got the happy one and the sad one. The sun and the moon. The sneak and the think. I know, there are probably more duo things that they fall into, but that's what's coming to mind. Melli. Hi, Blade. Hi, Nils. Thank you for the Wilhelm. Oh, that name is so outdated. You're back. I am. Did you miss me? Did I was just very worried. What? You called me Melli. What about it? You've never done that before. I'm sure I have. Nope. Not until now, at least. I'm just glad you're back. Welcome back to my tavern, Nils. That's a cute one. Yeah, I got it on my latest quest. Nils, you made a good choice. I also went on a quest. Well, at first I wanted to find the moon swamps. You know, the mysterious magical swamp that is said to be magically hidden and only appears in foggy but starry nights. I'd heard there's somewhere in the moon swamp near the portal to the Twilight Chasm. And did you find anything? No. I did find some weird waymarkers made of bones that seemed to lead somewhere. They had "Do Not Touch" written on them, and the paint even seemed fresh, so it looked like the perfect clue. But then, suddenly, there were just gallons of water everywhere. Yeah, no problem. Enjoy your look, Baringo. Luckily, I got away quick, and since I was already there, as Fasoa's best detective, it was my duty to discover the flood's origins. Well, at first I was more of a stowaway than detective, and I also couldn't figure out what... Don't storm off like that ever again, you understand? I was so worried, and no one knew anything about your whereabouts. Now... I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled at you like that. It's just, I haven't cared about anyone in so long. And with you and Fable both suddenly gone, I didn't know what to do. I thought you didn't care. After you went away, even though I asked you to be more careful. I thought maybe you didn't want to be my trusty assistant after all. So I went to investigate alone. I'm sorry for leaving. It's alright. I'm used to people leaving. And not coming back. I do care, Melli. I'm just kinda new to this whole honesty thing. I'm kinda new to this whole empathy thing. Yeah, I figured. If you'd like, I could fix you a drink to help you find your words again. Don't know if I'm up for trading another secret in exchange. It's on me today. You've got enough to worry about. So, let me see what I can do for you. Another basic. For the boy who's learning that he is not alone in the world. And worse yet, having to accept it. And some mine for our beautiful purple boy. Right down the... How far can I go? Ah, that's the limit. We're gonna have to limit this direction. Ah, that starts spilling on top. Okay. Enjoy your magical liquid eloquence. It doesn't taste half bad. This might actually help. So, your quest. Jade said you were stranded on Morlia. Yep. I followed 3 very suspicious-looking fellows and somehow ended up on that island. I always run into wizards and magic when I'm out of adventures. And traps! Magical traps everywhere. Sounds very dangerous. A detective's always seeking thrills. I'll make sure to be careful. I promise. It's not about that. I know you know how to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't have solved the T-Rex case. But don't keep putting your own life at risk in exchange for a quick adventure. Jade told me the whole wizard tower burned down. Did you forget about what happened in Zoford? It wasn't me, I promise. I didn't do anything. All I'm saying is, don't disappear again. Please. You're not alone anymore. You don't have to do everything all by yourself. Which is the point I'm going to point out, that I don't think he's speaking to Melli alone anymore. I think this is also being directed at himself. Like, you're one to talk. I think you've got a point, Melli. But that doesn't mean you should listen to him as well. You're both guilty. But you two have also made a lot of progress already. And I'm glad that both of you made it back safely. Heard anything from Fable yet? No, not yet. What about Carolyn? She came back after the flood. Currently, she's investigating some undead sightings in the Pale Woods. Do you know when she'll be back? No, but the two of you can wait for her. Can wait here for her, if you want. Yes, please. I want to stay until Carolyn gets back. All right. I'll keep you company. How about I spice up your wait with another drink? I'll pass. Oh, but I'd like one, please. Of course. Do you want anything specific? That whole adventure was pretty exhausting. Maybe something to combat my mental tiredness? Nothing easier than that. Oh, the coffee doesn't count. God damn it, it's only got 2 mind. Silent Owl, technically. No, she doesn't need that. Not this late. Yeah, we'll go... Peak Sunrise also doesn't sound right. Okay, there we go. Sparkling Nebula. In the middle of the night. And we are going to make this a striped drink. Because it's magic. I don't gotta explain shit. Or for those in the know, it's the Homestuck drink. Because we've got Prospit and Durst. Oh, sorry, I got those mixed up. Durst and Prospit. Prospit and Durst. Let's see if this will wake you up again. Oh, thank you. This is delicious. I can feel my synapses reconnecting. You know, now that I've had some time to think about it, I think I figured out why Hex was so bummed about the loot. Care to share your insight with us, Melli? But of course. He has a younger sister, right? Which always struck me as odd. She looks so much older than him. So what if she just ages faster than he does? And he expected to find some very special loot in that wizard tower, but he didn't find it. So, what if he was looking for something to extend her life? Like a scroll of immortality. What a foolish idea. Hey! Not you, Hex. Even if it's tempting, those are powers that no one should interfere with. I agree. What if she turns into a zombie? I've had enough of them. Definitely. We should tell him when we see him again. Or maybe we should tell Carolyn when she returns. She seems to be experienced in dealing with the undead. You think it'll be a long time before she gets back? I don't know. It could be very soon, but it could also take a few more days. You've had a long day. Aren't you tired, Melli? No! I'm not tired. Let's wait for a little bit longer. Maybe she'll show up, and Fable with her. Sounds good. Did she fall asleep? Yeah. Maybe I should bring her home and wrap this up for tonight. That's a good idea. You should get some rest as well. I'll let you know if I hear anything about Carolyn or Fable. Alright. There's not much for me to do otherwise. Except care for Melli. She needs you. Yeah, I think you might be right. Good night, Nils. You know, forget about it. See ya. Alrighty, and while not exactly a positive note, I think that is a good note to end it on. We've only got about 3 minutes until the typical end of stream anyway. And I think starting the next conversation is not necessarily gonna be a short one. Especially if anyone does come back. Let's get a save. We are currently on Chapter 21, Disaster, Tea, and Revelations. And we'll go ahead and do that next week. So for now, let's go ahead and swap over to the BRB screen and find someone to raid. Where is the window I have for this specifically? Here. Twitch. So let's see who's currently on that I can raid into. Wait. Oh, yes. We are gonna go over to Himmy HG, a wonderful little goblin who is playing some Goose Goose Duck. Wonderful, not quite Among Us game. It is very, very fun. Oh. Sweet. Okay, raid is commenced. So, as always, my wonderful tome readers, I hope you guys are eating enough, drinking enough, getting enough sleep. Take care of your bodies so they can take care of you. Take care of your bodies so you can better take care of your friends. For those of you in the US especially, we are approaching winter, and seasonal depression grips many of us. It's cold, and we are going into 2025, in which we will have the fucking Oompa Loompa back in the presidency. And while I hope that our elected representatives will fight him at every turn, keep him from the more atrocious, fascist things he claims he is going to do to his for his followers, there is no guarantee of that. So take care of your friends, and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys later.